Hello and welcome back to the Spider-Man limited set review. In this video I'll be discussing all of the black cards and how good I think they're going to be in the limited format. For an overview of how I do things, this is the 5 tiers I use for evaluating the cards. There are 5 of them. Tier 1 is good, Tier 5 is bad. The tiers are loosely based around, how where I would expect to pick the cards in a draft, not as much how individually powerful they are. There's, it's a mix, it's vibe based, there's, stuff going on. But we try to, we're trying to quantify stuff here. We're just trying to talk about cards. If you like me talking about cards, subscribe, stick around. Other set review content exists on the channel. So let's start with Agent Venom. 2 and a black for a 2/3 with Flash and Menace. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. I like this. So you're getting a, 3-mana 2/3 Flash Menace. Not the best, but, your opponent on turn 2 is somewhat likely to block your 2-drop. You can play this, flash it in, draw a card. That sort of applies throughout the game. You can just flash it in and attack and have a 2/3 Menace for 3, which isn't the worst. It's not the worst downside. There is sacrifice stuff a little bit, not a ton in the set really going on, but yeah, I mean this just seems solid to me. I don't like that it's below rate. A 2/3 Menace for 3 is not great, but I do think the effect is enough that it's going to be good, especially in a set that feels a little bit on the lower power level side, smaller. Um, yeah, Alien Symbiosis. 1 and a black for an aura. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has Menace in addition, and it's a symbiote in addition to its other types. You may cast this card from your graveyard by discarding a card in addition to paying its other costs. You know what? I put this in tier 5. That's too much. Because I was like, this is bad. Why would you want to discard a card? Oh, Mayhem. Yeah, of course. That's why you want to discard other cards. Um, yeah, it's like a repeatable Mayhem enabler that is still kind of bad, but I don't think completely unplayable. So I'm going to put it in tier 4 instead of 5. Because you are doing like stone nothing. Like you are paying 2 mana to do nothing without having creatures in play, which is pretty bad. And also the second copy is a little bit sus. It's a little bit sus. It's not that sus, but it's a little bit sus. Behold the Sinister Six. 6 and a black for a sorcery. Return up to 6 target creature cards with different names from your graveyard to the battlefield. So it has to be your graveyard, first of all. You need to be doing a lot of milling. But you only need to get back like 4 things for this to be good. Um, is this card good? I have sort of given up on trying to rate it, as you can see by my grade of it. Like, it's cool. The real question is, can you actually, like, get to turn 7 and not die and then get all this stuff back? Um, Assuming that you get 4 things back, which I think is somewhat feasible, you're going to be pretty happy with this. I should probably move it up to tier 2. I'm going to play with it. It's fun. But you do need a lot of mill help, which there's some of. There actually is some mill in the set. I'll move it up. I'll move it up a little bit. Do I really believe in 7 drops ever? I mean, sometimes 7 is kind of the number. Like 8 is really where it starts to be like you actually just are never casting this. But 7, it's like, you're casting this. Sure, you can cast it sometimes. Most of the time, even I think. Black Cat, Cunning Thief. 3 black for 8, 2, 3. When it enters, look at the top 9 cards of target opponent's library. Exile 2 of them face down, then put the rest on the bottom of their library in a random order. You may play the exiled cards for as long as they remain exiled. Mana of any type can be spent to cast spells this way. So this is just Gaunty, but a little bit bigger. You get 2 cards. You get to look at the top 9. Pretty sick. Doesn't have Death Touch, whatever. I mean, you're getting a 5-mana 2/3 that draws you 2 cards. It basically is a 5-mana 2/3 that casts, uh, what's it called? The Delve card. I know what it's called. I'm supposed to know what it's called. Dig Through Time. Yeah, it's just 5 mana 2/3 that casts Dig Through Time, so that's pretty good. I don't know. That's kind of my take on it, is that it's Dig Through Time on a 2/3, so yeah, it'll be good. Common Crook. 1 and a black for a 2/2. When this creature dies, create a treasure token. It's also a villain, so it types stuff. Not super exciting. We've seen this basically exact card before, and it's whatever, but you can play it, and it sometimes does something. The Death of Gwen Stacy. 2 and a black for a saga. Chapter 1, destroy target creature. Chapter 2, each player may discard a card. Each player who does not loses 3 life. So this is like a mayhem enabler, although it can hurt you, but I think you're going to have enough stuff incidentally with mayhem that it'll be in. And then Chapter 3, exile any number of target players' graveyards. So the second, I have rated this tier 1. Is that too much? Maybe. The thing is, it enabling mayhem and being a good removal spell just seems pretty valuable to me. The mayhem cards are it's half of what's black's doing, right? Only two supported color pairs for each color. Black has red black mayhem and blue black villains, so this is sort of helping both of those. I think it's reasonably efficient removal. It is a sorcery speed removal spell, but yeah, I mean, and also you're getting your opponent to lose 3 life or discard a card, which usually is a fine effect, but not, it's maybe a little overrated. The exile any number of target players' graveyards effect is actually like kind of sneaky relevant. There are things, especially in blue and black, that care about graveyards, and this just randomly hoses people. So I think this is good. Tier 1's maybe a bit aggressive, but I'm gonna leave it up. I'm gonna leave it up there because I believe in it. Eddie Brock. 2 and a black for a 3/3. When it enters, return target creature card with mana value 1 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. And you can pay 3 black, red, green to transform it as a sorcery. Transforms into a 5/5 with menace, trample, and haste. Whenever it attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, draw X cards, then you may put a permanent card with mana value X or less from your hand onto the battlefield, where X is the sacrificed creature's mana value. Yeah, I mean, this is fine. It's going to be pretty hard to get something back because there's just not that many 1-drops that you're going to be playing in your deck. So the front side is really just a 3/3, which isn't very good. But the fact that you can transform it into something really big is great. So I've kind of hedged and put it in the middle. I think it's kind of medium. Fixing is reasonable in this set, so it's not like it's impossible that you could transform it, but just kind of not the most exciting on the face of it. Gwenom Remorseless. 3 black for a 4/4 with Death Touch and Lifelink. Whenever it attacks, until end of turn, you may look at the top card of your library at any time and you may play cards from the top of your library. If a spell is cast this way, pay life equal to its mana value rather than pay its mana cost. So, seems really good, right? It's really good when it does the thing, it gets to attack. Even if this dies, the trigger stays on the stack, so you can still play spells even if they trade off. So that's really good. You're gaining life, that's really good. It is a 5 mana 4. I should move this up a tier, even though, yeah, even though like you are putting yourself in, like you are not really, it doesn't really do as much when you're behind and whatnot. I still think it's pretty good, and I think it's better than average. It is also a must remove. It's a removal threat. It's a removal check. So those are good cards usually. This is going to be good. Inner Demons Gangsters. 3 and a black for a 3/4. It has the ability to discard a card and give it +1/+0 and menace until end of turn. You can activate this only as a sorcery. So this is kind of a mayhem enabler. I don't think it's exciting. It's a villain. Whatever. I don't love this in any black deck really, but I think there could be spots where you play it. Yeah, it's also a 4-drop, so it's just not that premium. Merciless Enforcers. 1 and a black for a 2/1 with lifelink. You can pay 3 and a black to have it deal 1 damage to each opponent. Yeah, I mean, I don't. This is fine. The ability, I think tier 5 is maybe maybe a bit too much because the ability is actually relevant, right? We've seen this type of ability be relevant before. It hasn't ever been on a 2-1 me when I don't know if that's true or not. Um, but this does not block anything, and you really need to be able to block in this set because of web slinging. Web slinging kind of makes this bad, right? Because you really need to be able to block your opponent's early cheap creatures. Because if you don't, they get to just get value from them and get like cheat on rate, right? So this not being able to do that scares me. Dies to shock. It is a villain, and it does have a relevant ability that drains for 1, essentially. I'll move up to tier 4. I do think it will probably be reasonable as a 2-drop. Morlun, Devourer of Spiders. X black black for a 2-1 with lifelink. It enters with X +1/+1 counters on it. When it enters, it deals X damage to target opponent. So yeah, I mean this seems to me significantly better than the previous card because it sort of solves a lot of the problems. Yes, it's harder to cast, but on turn 5 you're getting a 5/4 with lifelink that hits your opponent for 3 and gains you 3 life. Like that's really really good, and I think that's a thing that can happen frequently. This is just going to end a lot of games. Like it's just kind of come down and stall, like just reverse stuff. I don't know. It just seems really good. You basically never want to play this on turn 2. Don't think of it as a 2-drop, but yeah, I mean seems pretty good to me. Parker Luck. 2 and a black for an enchantment. At the beginning of your end step, 2 target players each reveal the top card of their library. They lose life equal to the mana value of the card revealed by the other player. Then they put the card they revealed into their hand. I don't know about you, but like I don't really want to be like revealing, like giving my opponent an extra card per turn. Like I just don't really want to do that. Uh so yeah. Prison Break. 4 and a black for sorcery. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it, and you can mayhem this for 3 and a black. I don't mind this. We've seen these effects with give 2 counters, and those have been decent. This one only gives 1, but you get Mayhem as an upside. Mayhem is a good upside. It essentially is drawing you a card in a lot of spots. I just don't really think this is super premium. There are other, like, it does sort of play well, right? Like discarding something and then you can reanimate it with Mayhem. Yeah, I should move this up. I think this is a little too low. Like I think it's just enough, right? Like I do think like there is enough ways to enable Mayhem in the set that this will be on enough of the time, and even if it isn't, it's not the complete worst thing. So I'm somewhat in. Risky Research. 2 and a black, sorcery, surveil 2, draw 2 cards, lose 2 life. Yeah, I mean, I just don't really think you ever need this. It's just sort of bad card draw. It's worse than the one from the previous set, although you do get the surveil. So that's something, I guess. Um, yeah, that's kind of all I got. Sandman's Quicksand. 1 black black for a sorcery with Mayhem. 3 and a black. All creatures get -2/-2 until end of turn. If the spell's Mayhem cost was paid, creatures your opponents control get -2/-2 instead. So this is kind of situational, but it's I kind of like it. I kind of like it. I've rated it somewhat high for this style of effect because you can turn it into like pseudo like Plague Wind sometimes, which is really really good. And I think that that's going to be something that can happen more often than not. And in the games where it's not happening, you have a 3 mana -2/-2, which is usually okay. It's not great, but I kind of think you can do this. Like I think this is actually going to be a thing that's decent. is going to be like you're going to have to pay 6 mana-ish to Mayhem, but that's not even necessarily true. There are ways to discard for free, some ways to discard for 1 or 2 mana, and there are repeatable discard outlets. So I kind of believe in the first copy of this. We'll see how it plays out. Like, how does it line up against the creatures in the set? It's okay, right? Like it's gonna that's really what it's gonna depend on is how many of the creatures that matter does this actually line up against, and I don't know the answer to that. Scorpion Seething Striker. 3 and a black for a 3/3 with Death Touch. At the beginning of your end step, if a creature died this turn, target creature you control connives. Yeah, this seems fine. It's a 4 mana 3/3 Death Touch, not very good. Uh, Again, if your opponent, trades off the first turn that this is in play, you get the connive for free, which is really good. If they don't, then you don't get that, and you just have a 4 mana 3/3, which is pretty bad. Kind of hedged in the middle of that at tier 3. Scorpion Stain. 1 and a black, instant. Target creature gets -3/-3 until end of turn. Very good. Good removal spell. Not much to say about it. It's going to be great. I have no notes. The Soul Stone. 1 and a black for an Infinity Stone. That is an artifact. Indestructible. You can tap it to add a black. You can pay 6 and a black and tap it to exile a creature you control and harness the Soul Stone. Once harnessed, its infinite ability is active. It has the ability at the beginning of your upkeep, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. I think that the infinite ability should cost infinite mana to activate because that would be funny and technically possible, sort of. Not really in the rules, but like maybe. This card is not very good. It's essentially a 2 mana rock, and then you have to pay 7 mana and tap it to turn it on. So, and you have to exile a creature you control for a turn, which is not impossible, but 2 mana rocks are not very good. 2 mana rocks unlimited are pretty bad. And this is just taking such a large part of the game to actually get turned back on. Like, once you turn this on, it's fine, but you have to take a whole turn and 7 additional mana to turn it on. I just do think that this is going to be too much. Like, I just think it is indestructible. I don't think that really, I mean, that does matter. Yeah, I think tier 5 is too harsh. Let's move it up to tier 4 at least. I still think it's going to be overrated, but I do think it's actually not completely terrible. Spiderman Noir. 4 and a black for a 4/4 with menace. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, put a +1/+1 counter on it, then surveil X, where X is the number of counters on it. Yeah, this is really good, right? It's a 5 mana 4/4 with menace, which is okay. It's not great. But then, it has an ETB essentially because it gives a creature +1/+1 counters. And then you get to surveil X, which is nice. I don't know. Yeah, this looks good to me. It is a 5-drop, so there's only so high I can move it. And it does do nothing sometimes because it just is a 5 mana 4/4 menace with no ETB if you don't have any other creatures. But I think this is good. It's a good card. It's just a 5-drop. Do you really want to, like, how many 5-drops can you actually play in your deck? Always an issue. The Spot's Portal. 2 and a black for an instant. Put target creature on the bottom of its owner's library. You lose 2 life unless you control a villain. So that downside is actually quite meaningful. Now, almost so many creatures in blue and black are villains. So you're going to have a villain, I would say, at least 50% of the time on board when you cast this. Probably somewhere in that neighborhood. And putting the creature on the bottom is usually better than putting it in the graveyard, so that's nice. Kind of weird. It's sort of weird that it's like mostly a blue ability to do that, but yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, I like it. I don't know. I like the removal spell. If you ever have to pay 2 life, it's kind of bad though. It is an instant. It's nice. Swarm, Being of Bees. 2 mana black for a 2/2 with flash and flying, and it is mayhem for a single black. It's a villain. It's like whatever. I just don't care. It's fine. It's a 3 mana 2/2 flash flyer. That mode is pretty bad. The mayhem mode is good, but you need to enable it. So you're not going to pick this high. You need the enablers before you play this, but I think you could play it. Tombstone, Career Criminal. 2 mana black for a 2/2. When it enters, return target villain card from your graveyard to your hand. Villain spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. As you've seen, and as I've mentioned, there's a lot of villains. There's a lot of villains in this set. So I don't think this is going to be off that often, but we have seen that Gravediggers are just kind of bad lately. And you don't really want to play this on turn 3 because it's just not worth having a 3 mana 2/2 to make your spells a little bit cheaper. I think you don't really want to do that. Venom Evil Unleashed. 4 and a black for a 4/5 with Death Touch. How did I get this? Seems too low. And you can pay 2 and a black to exile this card from your graveyard, but 2+1/+1 counters on target creature, gains Death Touch until end of turn, activate only as a sorcery. Yeah, this is too low. But it's not that low. I think I kind of just got mad at some point during this set review and started rating everything poorly because all the creatures, like all the cards, suck. So that was maybe what happened here. But I think this is a fine 5-drop. It's pretty big. And it does do something from your graveyard, so I don't think it's the worst thing ever. It's a villain. But yeah, not terribly important. Venomized Cat, 2 and a black for a 2/3 with Death Touch when it enters, mill 2 cards. You know, I actually think I'm going to move this up because there is a lot that cares about milling in this set, and this does have Death Touch. I think I'm going to move it up. And it is a villain. This is kind of a nice blue-black card. Yeah. So I've done that. I do think it's not quite as good as the Rat from Bloomborough, where that one was, like, really nice. But this, it sort of does a similar thing, and yeah, it should be fine at doing that thing. Venom's Hunger. 4 and a black for a sorcery. It costs 2 less to cast if you control a villain, which is if he's established is like basic, is a lot of the time. You can destroy target creature and gain 2 life. So it is a sorcery speeder removal spell. Those are not usually very good, but it is a gain life removal spell, and those are usually very good. So there's that. And then, you know, it's going to be 3 mana most of the time. Not all the time, but most of the time. We've baked that into the equation here, and I think overall it's just going to be fine. Like, I don't think it's the best removal spell, but I think it might be I think it's good. I think it's fine. And the last black card is Villainous Wrath. 3 black for a sorcery. Target opponent loses life equal to the number of creatures they control, then destroy all creatures. You know me, not a Wrath guy. I'm not a Wrath guy. I'm just not. I don't like them. This is going to deal on average somewhere around 3 to 4 damage to your opponent. That's sort of whatever. You're destroying and not exiling. Fine. If you like playing Wrath of Gods, you will like this card. I don't really. So I probably won't like it very much. It's fine. And that's it. That's all the black cards, short and sweet. Set review continues. The fast speeds. We're, getting through these. So keep an eye out for more if you would like to see more. I'll see you next time.